I'll tell you a story and take you on a little bit of a journey. Back before a time of Facebook ads, back before PPC, back before a time of email marketing, of yellow pages and direct mail. You know what? Back before a time where there were even written of the written word. Back in the ancient times, your digital marketers, holistic therapists, and quantity surveyors, when they wanted to move on from just shouting about their wares, they had one thing to rely on, and that was word of mouth. And word of mouth, or referrals, as we often come to say it now, so it must be the oldest form of marketing. And yet so few of us look at it strategically. People spend their money on PPC campaigns and SEO and all sorts of new wondrous things. I'm not disputing that. But for so many people, when you ask them, referrals are still the greatest source of quality leads into their business. And why wouldn't they be, right? We all love referrals. They don't haggle on price. They typically don't shop around. It's easy to build rapport with them because the trust is already there. And often they convert quickly. So why is it that we don't look at this more strategically? I'm absolutely on a mission to get people looking at third-party referrals much, much more strategically. And be that from your clients, contacts or networks, or whether it's elevating it to the next level with strategic partnerships. That's absolutely what I want to do today, is just give you 3 tips at that referral level that you can go out and start implementing in your business right away. So before I do that though, I just want a quick test of the room. I can see most of you on my screen in front of me. So who here gets referrals on a consistent, who gets them? Okay, most, brilliant. And how many of you are actually asking for them? Okay, much fewer, much fewer. How many of you have actually got a proper strategy behind it? Okay, so very, very few. And this is just proves my point, right? But quick, fans, who would like more of them? Yay, everyone, brilliant. So hopefully there is so much I could cover in this next 9 minutes or whatever, but I'm just going to try and keep it to 3 key things and we can go from there. Okay, right. So number 1, this is going to be groundbreaking for you, is to ask. Is to ask for referrals if you want to get them. Now, there's a very quick thing I'm going to cover off before I talk about the specific thing around ask. And it's if you're someone that doesn't ask for referrals because you feel like you don't want to burden someone else, I'm just going to put one thing in your mind, and that's when you make a referral to someone and you hear that it's gone well, don't you get that amazing, warm, fuzzy feeling that you go, oh, look, I did that. So if you get that feeling when you make them, but you're not asking for them, what you're actually doing is you're not burdening someone, you're not burdening someone, you're not giving someone else the opportunity to get that warm, fuzzy feeling when they refer you. So just as a very quick aside, never be afraid to ask. But the thing around asking is there's the right time to ask. And this is if you really want to get good referrals, timing the request is a really good one to do. And there's two times when people are most likely to give you referrals. And that's one, when they are the most delighted with you. And the other is when they feel obligated. And I don't necessarily mean, it sounds a little bit sales tactically, right? To go, oh, they feel obligated. But it's there, why not use it? I don't mean it in an underhanded way. And I'm going to start with the obligated one. Is so many of us think that we can only ask for referrals from customers when we finish a piece of work or people we know well. Actually, if someone has said no to you for a reason, either they're a leaving customer, a customer who's leaving you for no other reason than natural end of times, or maybe there's someone that has chosen not to work with you, again, just for perfectly reasonable expectation, they're going to feel guilty. A little bit guilty, and they're going to feel obligated. Asking people who have said no to you, right, that's fine, but I don't suppose you know anyone else. It is amazing how well that works. So just think about when someone might feel, if you've got a good relationship with someone, but they've had to deliver a little bit of bad news, it's a brilliant time to ask for a referral. The other one, on the when you feel delighted. Now, for most people, this is actually much earlier in your customer journey than you would expect. The standard knowledge is to go, I asked for a referral when I finished delivering the piece of work that I'd done, right? That's common perception. The thing is, when you've completed that piece of work, typically what you've done is you've just delivered what I've expected. That isn't when I'm most delighted. For a lot of people, particularly if you have a discovery phase or something in your journey, the point when someone is most delighted, they're most like, oh wow, that was better than I expected. That point is typically earlier in the journey than you would expect. So I would really urge you all just to have a think about that customer life cycle and go, at what points, because it can be more than one, at what points are people most delighted with me? Are they most kind of enthused about what I do? Because that's the time to drop in a referral request. Okay, so that's ask. Number one is ask, and ask at the right time. Number two is make it easy. Okay, we are all so busy. But hands up, anyone here who's not busy at the moment, right? Which means we're lazy. And I don't mean lying around on a sofa doing nothing lazy, watching Star Wars back to back, as much as I would love to do that on May the 4th. I mean, if something isn't part of our core activity, if it's not easy for us to do it, we put it in that I'll get round to it list. So you need to make it so easy for people to refer you that it just becomes second nature. Now, there's a whole load of stuff that I could do on this, but the bit I want to leave you with today is about being specific about who you ask for. So Pete touched on it when we were talking about our pitches, about who you do your work for. The more specific you can be, the easier it is for someone to refer you. So in the intro, Pete mentioned I used to run a membership organisation and ran loads of events, and so I've got quite a big network. But if someone asks me for a referral to any small business owner, or even a really broad group like professional services or something like that, I don't see the hundreds of professional service people I know. I see a fog because no one springs to mind. So if you can be really specific about who you're looking for a referral to, you're much more likely to get it. And actually, it can change. So it doesn't have to be the same person you ask for a referral for each time. It can be who you've just done a great bit of work for. You know those jobs where it just works. Everything's easy. You enjoy it. They enjoy it. You deliver huge value. That's a great referral to ask for. Someone just like them, and it gives you a reason why you're asking for that referral, because you've just done a great piece of work. So making it easy is the absolute key thing. Anyone who's connected with me on LinkedIn and has seen my videos over the last few weeks, I've been doing a whole series on all the other things you can do to make it super easy for someone to actually listen. It's not just about who that person is, but it's about what they're doing and what they're saying at the right times. But as a starting point, just try to be really super specific about who you're asking for. Okay, so you're asking, you're making it easy when you're asking. The third most important thing is to say thank you when you get them. And I don't just mean when the referral's first passed across, but I mean keep someone up to date. If you want to get referrals on a consistent basis, then it's really important that you treat the referrals that you get in well, that you contact them quickly and you stay in touch and all that sort of stuff. But that no matter what happens, whether it turns into business or not, you say thank you to the person that's delivered it. You let them know what's going on and you say thank you. But say thank you in the right way. So obviously just say it, but make sure if you're going to do rewarding people for referrals, don't get drawn into the trap of kind of making it too much of a set about sales or a commission or whatever else. A lot of the time people are referring you just because they want to. So really have a think about if you are going to formalise a referral process, just be very careful about what you do on reward. There's a brilliant book called Drive by Dan Pink, which some of you may not have read, and it talks about intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. And if you make your referrals too much about a £100 voucher or a 10% commission or whatever it may be, for some people that will absolutely turn them off wanting to refer you, because it makes it kind of more like a sales activity instead of something that someone wants to do. to actually think about the reason why someone's referring you, and maybe just do something nice for them. And if you know them personally, then giving a kind of a personal thing that you've thought about typically goes a lot more of a long way than no matter what the cost of it, than a standard kind of financial piece. So my 3 top tips are to make sure you're asking, and make sure you're asking at the right time, is to make it easy. Be as specific as possible about who the person is that you're looking for a referral to today. And then when you get those referrals, it's about making sure that you say thank you, and you say thank you in the right way. And by doing that, you'll continue to get referrals on a consistent basis. So that's that. And I just want to urge you to not to try and get better referrals, but to actually do it, because do or do not, there is no try. I'm not from the Star Wars fans in the room, though. I had to throw something in. So, but one thing I would say, and this is as salesy as I will ever get, and I mentioned this to Pete beforehand, if you are interested in doing kind of delving a little bit more into this, I have got a workshop at the end of June on getting repeat referrals, and there's happy to give a discount to anyone who's here today or any of the Networking in Alliance crowd. So I will send some details over to Pete. It's on June the 23rd from 9:30 to 1. I keep it to a maximum of 6 people, so it's super relevant for your business. So if anyone would like details, just give me a shout and I'll fire it over. But